errors. So nobody is even doing CD. If you are selling CD now, you might not even make it. But I brought this one to show you how they preserve technology. In fact, before this advent, they had turntable. They have VHS. Before VHF, they had what? No. I'm talking about video.
Okay.
Reel to reel. You used to watch movie now.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So something with different movie. Remember those days when we were small? They show movie of Jesus Christ crucifixion.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Go back and say maybe we still long or what?
So you see, that's the trend now. But how will your children understand this? As in, you are talking, it's more like you are talking trash. No, carry your phone out straight. You see video. But these things evolve over time. So, Studio Grade 1 is the process where you bring all this production. For instance, let me just talk about CD. Just CD, not video. What it takes to produce this CD is, number one, after rehearsals and everything, they either go to studio or they organize live in concert recording, album recording, right? Do everything. But before that time, they had done series of rehearsals. Maybe the rehearsal might have taken them like close to 1 year to do this live recording. So after the process, they capture those materials. Are you with me? And then I start production. Production. So production means they'll start editing those stuff. And because it's a digital file, kind of, so there are rooms for overdub. If the vocal says something that he was not supposed to say, they will just retake and do it. I'm talking about something that happened between 2005 up to this current time. Because in this time, once you make one mistake, this reel to reel is condemned. You have to start it again. In the era of, can I say Voice of the Cross? All those, or Sadebe, Oliver Cook, that you'll be hearing some ripple sound from this, is it LP? That turntable now, that has a pin. So, you'll be hearing a lot of that. Now, during that time, if somebody cough, if a song is supposed to be 45 minutes, and at 44 minutes, 50 seconds, somebody's all, that's all. You have to start over again. So, now, if you look very well into technology, you appreciate what technology is doing for us. So that's why now, we are not supposed to be lazy, because our forefathers that time, they were not lazy. You can see, for a project, they can have crew of almost 100. Each person doing stuff. But now with technology, you have one person doing the work of like 10, 15, 20. So it means that one person that happens to be you should know so much, so that the output that will come from any system you are using will be clean. Clean in all dimensions. You understand? So I'm also here to share all those stuff. So Studio Grade 1, editing, processing, everything, mixing and mastering. And then they sell the file to a production plant that uses machine to, first of all, create this disc. As they are manufacturing these discs. As they are manufacturing it, they are using lesser technology to write those files. That's how we got them like this. That's why, if anything, scratch it. By the time it gets there, it's skipped. So, and then you as a consumer, by the time you get this thing and you play it in the car, you are happy. Everything come clean. Crisp. So now, Studio Grade 1 is understanding everything that happened like this and bring it to your mixing console, such that when choir is singing real-time live, what is coming out from the speaker, from the system into the mixer is sounding like a finished product. Is it possible? So, you understand? That's why in this life, first of all, I always tell people that the hardest thing to do is to dream. Provision is not hard at all. It is based on your dream that provision will come. So once you've given yourself this goal, I tell you, you achieve it. But if once you tell your system, your body system, that it is not possible, so it is. So that's why most things don't say it's not possible. Just say maybe at that time you have not gotten enough information to dive into that aspect of mixing. So I'm here again to share with you everything it takes to do this. I'm sure 2 days might not be enough. Anything I'm doing here is just like the basics. You understand? So that is it. It's possible to actually bring so much that you did here and then do it real time. He has catch the virus already. That's why he's always traveling. So for him to organize this, it means you should have this information so that anywhere you go to, first of all, understand the technology. But before you understand the technology, understand yourself. How well of music do I know? If you don't know music and you are mixing musical content, how will you do? Again, that brings a lot of issues. When musician will tell you, what do you know? Will you mix my keyboard better than I do that? I know the sound. So, these are 2 different perspectives, dimensions. Then you'll be telling them, come and mix now. Let me know whether you know EQ, you know compressor, you know those things. You don't know. So before you know, we have crash. So we should know all these things, and that's why I'm here to teach us Studio Grade 1. Today, we want to understand, we'll dive more into the psychology of, I'll just touch sound. There's also psychology of music and some other content. And again, I will also do little of our perception. So there are some things we need to understand. See, in all these things, I have not even talked about mixing console, but I'm sure now your approach will change. You understand? So the first thing we want to do is, when somebody talk about sound, what comes to your mind first, sir? When somebody talk about sound, what comes to your mind? Just say anything. What you hear. Okay. All right, as you are in this room, how many sound are you hearing here? Now. Okay, can you name them? Yes.
This camera, your voice, the fever that is making noise, the AC, phone,
Okay. All right, so you are right. Those are sound. But you can choose to allow the sound inside you. And you can choose to mute those channels. So that's why we are diving into act of listening. Act of listening. Act of listening. So it's one dimension of perception. It is possible to be in a class saying one thing, and different people comes with different perception. Perception is the interpretation that your brain gives to you as per a subject matter. And the interpretation is based on your understanding and knowledge about that thing, right? So that is why people read a lot of books to have that understanding. So that when somebody is saying one thing, for instance, if you are saying anything in sports, I will not have understanding because I don't watch sport. You can be talking, I will try to have perception. It will come, yes, but it will be limited. Why? Because I've not given myself to that world of football, sport. So now that we are here for 2 things: sound and then music. And the sound and music, the entire purpose is to see that we worship God in spirit and in truth. You can actually hold camera like this and you are worshiping God. And do you know that as you are worshiping God, God will be giving you, will be moving your hand. When I say moving your hand, thoughts will be coming as per which shot to take. And you know that as you are taking those shots, when you are playing back, sweet. Yes, beyond your professionalism, once you add God factor into it, you achieve plus. So we are here, sound, music and then God, actually. If not, we won't be here. So, now, act of listening. There are different ways we listen to things. You understand? And there's a difference between hearing something and then listening to something. In your mind, there are different channels of thoughts. Do you understand? Do you know this? What does this represent? Yes. This represents these feathers. So, it's possible that you are listening to me right now. Speaker. This might be house, office, distraction. 1, distraction. 2. You might have them up to like 50 or 100. And maybe you have a house in London and you have tenants that they are showing you paper. They don't want to pay their rent. So as you are here, you'll be thinking all these things. So now, it happened that you decided there's actually a mute button. So you decided to either mute these other channels of what you are hearing in your spirit man, or you reduce their volume level and then amplify my own, such that even as the car is making those horns, you are hearing it actually, but it's not there. Why? Because you increase your channels. And by doing that, you are giving me active listening. And that's the essence of this whole stuff. So the active listening is one of the tools we use in downloading stuff, in getting stuff, uploading stuff into us. So that's why in a class, like I said, different people can come with different perception of what the lecturer is saying or the teacher is saying. So the act of listening is the process where you engage your whole self in paying an attention to something. Now, the active listening is divided into 2 different sections. We have critical listening. We have the analytical listening. So the critical listening is the engineering side of active listening. So as an audio engineer, if you know this active listening very well, referencing will actually not be a big issue. Okay? Now, the critical listening is that if I play this music now, I should listen. Now, there's different things to look at. How are the instruments? Number 1, how many instruments we are using here? It means by active listening, you can pay attention to different musical content, different channels, analyze them, and then say, okay. Let's assume that we are not even playing the video. We are playing the audio. Based on what you hear, you can say, okay, there's a synth. Somebody is doing pam, 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 and there's another thing that look like pads, they combine sound. You see, your mind is trying to interpret what you have not seen. So you can actually develop this profile. By the time you are detailed into a sound of a musical instrument, how many instruments we are used? Was that acoustic guitar? Yes, but the volume profile is kept at this level. Do we have drums? Yes. Do we have pad? Do we have? There's something that do that is not kick. Now listen. There. So that is not kick drum. You are trying to analyze and say, okay, we have